in order to really be effective as you're going back to work, for some of you that are, I think it's also being aware of the choices and options we have. Right? Because the one thing is that really what it creates a lot of fear as well, feeling like we're at the effect of life. So understanding that our focus, we want to focus not on what we don't have control over, but what we do have control over. Right? Because when we are able to focus on what we have control over, it actually we really understand that we have choice and options. And I think the one thing that we do have control over, which is a big one, is that we have control over what we focus on and what story we want to sort of dwell in our minds, right? So I think that when you people are thinking about going back to work, think about if you focus on the fear and of the things that you don't want to have happen, that's what you're going to give energy to, and that's what's going to create those feelings, which are going to cause you to show up in a way that may not serve you or those around you. But knowing that you ultimately have choice over the attitude that you go back with, right? And are you going back to contribute, or are you going back to just be in a place and figure out ways to keep yourself safe, right? Because is it more about you than it is about going back and really going from a attitude of contribution, an attitude of really wanting to really kind of work towards a common good, right? Going back there and knowing that we're all in this together and that we're going to make it work. I think having that attitude of contribution and of community, and the fact that anything that we can do, that even if you don't have control over what's going on, one thing you could have control over is whether you want to show up in a great attitude or in a poor attitude. That's one thing we do have control over.
Yeah, and it sort of just reminded me of, I forget who said it, but someone sort of said something along the lines of like, now is the time to understand more so that we can fear less.
Madame Curry, that's who said it.
Um, and it's just sort of fitting right now. So, and just with what we're talking about, really with awareness, so being aware of more and taking the time to understand that can actually limit the amount of fear that we're going to experience and sort of the stress that goes along with it, the anxiety that comes up, um, really just sort of stood out to me.
So I think awareness, I think, is going to be a really crucial point in people really as they're going back to work, being aware of, being self-aware, being aware of reality, being aware that what we actually think, what actually is happening, may not be what's actually happening. That and then understanding that, and also being aware of other people around us, that they each have their own narratives in their mind, and also being aware of the environment we're working in as well too, and really remembering that we always have a choice.